You can pull it, and don't forget to talk into it.
Like, is that close enough?
Well, yes. I'll tell you if you're not.
Okay.
Here we go.
Host of the Sunbury Real Estate Show, right here on 103.5 FM, Sun. Wednesday at 11 a.m. Hey, when I'm not on the radio, I'm working with folks just like you to buy and sell homes. I'm proud to say that my team, the Baker Realty Group, has been helping people buy and sell homes in the greater Sunbury area for over 5 years. Buying and selling a home is available on my website, bakerrealtygroup.com, on Facebook by searching the Baker Realty Group, or by calling 608-575-6731. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the Sunbury Real Estate Show with Bill Baker. Brought to you by the Baker Realty Group.
Welcome to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show with your host, Bill Baker.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sun Prairie Real Estate Show. I'm Bill Baker, your host. Glad to be here on a beautiful Wednesday day. I got a little bit of a hangover, I'll admit that, but it's not the alcohol kind of hangover. It's called the election hangover. And I was like 10 hours total on the air yesterday, really trying to follow all of the results that everything happened, and so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Today's show is going to be very special for me because I have a special guest in studio that is one of my favorite people. I love her to death, mentor, coach, former team leader. She's helped me in my business in more ways than I can tell you in an hour. And it's Sheri White, and Sheri's here. She joined me when we were on IBA, but she's been just such an important person in my life, and I'm so proud to be here with her. And we'll talk to her in a few minutes. We're also going to get you caught up on what's going on in the latest trends and your stats and statistics of Sun Prairie. Compare that to Dane County. We're going to talk to you about just how we doing out there, and how are you doing? And then we're actually going to give you some strategies, buyers, because I've heard you. I've been at Buck and Honey's. I know what you're saying to me. You're saying, I can't get an accepted offer. And why is that? What's going on with that? How do you make this happen? Well, when you've got two of the best agents in Dane County sitting in a studio, we're going to show you ideas, thoughts, and trends to make that happen. And if you're working with a real estate agent, that's cool. You can go teach them, or you can change. But anyway, but you can share the ideas with it, and I'll get to that in just a short time. Hey, I'm trying to log on to Facebook, and I'm having a difficult time. It just happens this way all the time because I want you on here. Oh my gosh, hang on, people, hang on. Give me a break. Give me a timeout. We had a Gavitzit that didn't make the thingamabob work and all that, and we'll get it. Did it go? Did it go? Did it go? It's going. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I want to talk about the election and how that went. It was really interesting, I got to tell you, as a former candidate myself, watching and being a part of some of these and watching these folks. I've talked to every one of them. I've had them in studio. I met with every school board candidate. I met with our city council folks. And it was one of the most interesting elections that I have seen. You have in District 1, Steve Stalker was reelected. District 3, Maureen Crombie was reelected. They both ran unopposed, which, shame on you, Sun Prairie. Somebody should have stepped up and run against those guys. They're two incredible two incredible alders, but, raise your hand. Don't be afraid to raise your hand when these things come up next time. Now, in District 2, Brent Iceburner, he won in his area. He had a challenger who had to step down right in the very beginning. Her name was still on the ballot, but he will be the newest city alderperson for District 2, which District 2 is the greatest District 2 because that's where I live. And it's where Buck and Honey's is, Not that I'm a fan of Buck and Honey's or anything, but I'm a fan of Buck and Honey's. Now, one of the other biggest races was with Russ Weed and David Virgil, and David Virgil came out on top. He is the newest alder to replace the retiring Mary Polinsky. David will step into the District 4 seat. He is, you have to say this, it is a first. He will be the first African-American individual to be on the city council. Proud to see him up there and can't wait to see what he does. School board, you had Diana McFarland with the most votes, followed by LaToya Hollywood, and then our own Steve Schrader. He's back as our school president, back on the school board. So it was really close. Steve and Lisa Goldsberry, 7 votes. 7 votes. Separated those two, and it was something else, I tell you. But I'm hungover. I went home, I laid down, and finally got some sleep. But it was killing me, I tell you. I don't know. Hey, I was telling you about this wonderful lady. Her name's Sheri White, and she has been in real estate for quite a while. I first met her at Keller Williams. I think it was Keller Williams, or did I meet you before that?
I think so. I think it was Keller Williams.
I gotta figure out. If I could read my number.
Turn me on.
Yeah, I'm turning you on.
Am I on?
She said it. I didn't, folks. So she was my team leader at Keller Williams. And what's really cool about Sheri is her background in new construction, also in just real estate in general. But she's a great leader. And we spent some time together at Keller Williams. She moved on to a new organization called EXP Realty. And then the excitement happened because it was a brand new organization. People are going, what? What's this virtual stuff? You're going to be in a wait. You have avatars. You're meeting in the cloud. What's
Right.
this all about? Now, fast forward how many years?
Yeah, 6.5 years almost.
And EXP and that company is actually helping and working with Facebook on their virtual world that they have
the
out
metaverse.
there. The metaverse.
Yeah, exciting things. So when we started, when I launched EXP in Wisconsin in 2016, January of 2016, we were in 40 states at the time, and I was agent 810. Now we just surpassed 78,000 agents, and we are in all 50 states, of course, in the U.S., and 20 countries. So very, very exciting. So we, just thinking about the enormous growth we've had over the past 6 years, it's been amazing. And now we have 900 agents in Wisconsin. So that's really exciting, considering that when we launched Wisconsin, there were only 810 agents in the whole company at that point. So growing like crazy, and it's an amazing, amazing company for agents. So I'm super excited to have had that opportunity to bring EXP to Wisconsin.
So, and folks, if you're listening out there, if you're a real estate agent, keep your eyes or ears open right now because of what you're going to hear. This isn't about recruiting. This is about sharing our experiences. And I'll tell you my journey, and then and we'll hear from Sheri about this. And if you are a consumer, I think this is real important for you to understand how the structure of realtors that are out there. Now, when I say realtors, that means that we are members of the National Association of Realtors. If you're not a member of that, you're just a real estate agent.
Correct.
It's a very that's another.
It's an important distinction.
It is, along with the Wisconsin Association of Realtors.
Right.
Realtors Association. So where I'm going with this, when you have a real estate business, it's about you. It's not about the company.
Correct.
Some people think it's about the name of the company that's on the door, or the blimp, or the yellow jacket, or I can't even think of some others. Those are the old things, right?
Right.
And so when I left Keller Williams, I went you were talking to me, said, come over, join me, got this cool new thing. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a new toy. I don't know if I want to do it.
Right.
Century 21 grabbed me and threw a bunch of money at me because they wanted my team, right? And I went there. Boy, I should smack myself. I do every morning. I just bang my head on the wall. Great organization, but EXP is where it's at. Now, folks that are real estate agents, why EXP?
Well, I think you're right. Just to reiterate what you said, like a lot of consumers don't realize that agents are independent contractors. So they may have a brand that supports them, yet at the same time, they don't technically work for that brand,
right.
And they pay for their own marketing, and most of their, basically almost all of their own marketing and their expenses are on them as
right.
an independent business owner. So one of the great things about eXp Realty is, when I was with a former company, I saw agents struggle. I was a team leader. I helped them build their business. I attracted agents to the company. And I saw a lot of people, as we know, most people fail out of real estate in the
right.
first 5 years in their
right.
business. It's really a difficult.
I bet it's shorter this year.
Yeah,
right now, this time
it
frame.
could be, because this is really a market that is really driving people crazy. So they're kind of like, I'm out. So with eXp Realty, the wonderful thing about that is the company gives back to the agents. So based on things that they're already doing, the production that they have, they're actually able to earn stock. So they have equity in the company for their production, and there's several different ways they can earn stock. They can also buy stock at a discount with our company. And when we launched in Wisconsin, back in 2016, we were penny stock. We weren't even uplisted to NASDAQ at that point. So since then, we've uplisted, and the stock has gone, incredibly berserk.
Split once.
Right, absolutely.
Thank you very
much. So
much.
that's been incredible. And the other thing is it gives back. So it gives revenue share back to the agent. So as the company, has transactions, half of what they bring into the company gets paid back out to agents who help the company grow. So that offers agents other sources of income, and I think that's really important, where there's a lot of agents struggling in this market right now just to be successful in the market. So having alternative sources of income, having the ability to actually build a retirement fund
right.
with stock has been so meaningful for people, and I hear it all the time. How much it's changed people's lives, and that's really, really exciting for me.
Now, folks that are consumers, let's lay this out for you. When a house is sold, or somebody helps buy a property, a commission is paid. And what happens with that commission depends on the brokerage, whether it's Stark, First Weber, Century 21, Keller Williams, whoever, or EXP. We call it a split. And the split is the share that you get to keep as a real estate agent. And one of the things that we get with EXP is an 80-20 split, with the option to acquire stock with each of those transactions. And there's actually an option that's in there, so we get a really good deal on stock. I love that. But they also give me the support, the mechanism, the tools, and everything, because you've all have asked, I don't understand the Baker Realty Group and EXP. EXP is the strength behind Baker Realty Group to let me do what I need to do as an individual agent. Now, it could be as a team also, but I've chosen to reduce things so I can do what I'm doing right now on the radio, more philanthropic things, more activities. It's the thing of time, talent, and treasures, and sharing that. It gives us that opportunity to run a business and be paid well and be appreciated.
Yeah,
now,
so
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
One of the other things that I wanted to mention is
Just
the way that we up-level our agents in their business is really important to the consumer, because we have a virtual campus, so anyone anywhere in the world can log into our campus, and we have over 60 hours of training every week in our virtual campus, which really, really helps agents up-level their business,
Sure.
provide better service to the consumer, learn more about what's going on in the market. And most companies don't offer, I don't know of any other company, honestly, that offers that amount of training. And so it's taught by people that are out there. We call them icon agents, who are huge producers in the industry and who are giving back and teaching the agents, best practices and how to do business and serve the consumer in the best way possible. So that's really what's meaningful about EXP as far as from a consumer's perspective, because I think that's important. We all have to keep upping our game. Things change on a daily basis.
Sure.
Markets shift. Everything is different. And if you are not constantly paying attention to what's going on in the market, you're just left in the dust. So I think that is such a meaningful, opportunity for agents to just really, jump in at any point, and whatever it is they need to learn about, we've got the classes there to teach them.
And in this market especially, I mean, it's so important. I was having a conversation with Andy Ayers from State Farm yesterday at one of the victory parties, and I said to him, "This is the toughest market I've ever seen." He's like, "You got to be kidding me." He says, "You must have wheelbarrows full of money." I said, "Dude, there aren't any houses to buy.
Right.
I can't. If I have I have 45 buyers on a board in my house that I'm actively trying to get houses to them and get offers. I've gotten really good at writing offers.
Right.
But this is the toughest market there has ever been. And I was in the short sale and foreclosures.
Yeah, so
and we're
was I.
still doing 50 transactions a year.
Right.
But this is a market that if you're thinking of coming into real estate, you need to know that this is not the typical market. You're going to have a really quick education, and don't get frustrated.
Yeah, this market is not for the faint of heart, for sure.
And get with somebody
right.
that's going to be able to mentor you and help you through the process.
Yes. I'm mentoring several agents. I'm a certified mentor for the company. So I'm mentoring several agents, and one of the cool things that I really love about EXP is that we teach classes. We're strategizing with agents all over the country, all over the world, actually, and what are you doing in your market to get offers accepted? So we're able to, bring that knowledge, what other people are doing in multiple other markets, and bring that back here to Wisconsin to help our buyers, get those properties. So
I especially watch the West Coast because it always moves this way. Don't know if it's ever going to get there. Now, things like iBuyers and all that, they're flirting with Wisconsin, but they're not really strong.
Correct.
Here, they're flirting. And that was a whole show that we did on that. But it's, how would you describe the market right now for you as an agent? And
it's certainly crazy. I mean, I got my license in 2000.
Okay.
22 years ago is what I was trying to say. And so I've seen a lot of different types of markets, as have you, and this definitely is one of the most challenging markets I've seen. It's almost shocking how much prices are escalating. And I know we're going to run through some stats here in a minute, which I'm excited to talk about. But this is definitely one of the most challenging markets for buyers, one of the most opportunistic markets for sellers.
Right.
And so there's a lot of creative solutions that are coming out of this type of market. And, we always get this big question of what's going to happen this year. Is it going to be crazy? Is 2022 going to be, just as incredible? Or are we going to see this housing bubble, burst? So there's a lot of conversations to have about real estate. And I'm super excited because even though it's challenging, it's really an exciting time to be in real estate because it's all about being creative and finding new solutions and being innovative and, trying to find those things that you can do to help your clients as best you can.
Another conversation that I had recently was about construction, and the comment was, well, we're just waiting for everything to calm down. I said, stop it. Go build your house. And he looked at me, and I won't share a name on this one. He looked at me, he says, what are you talking about? I said, go build your house, or you won't have it. You won't be able to build it. And he said, well, I want the price of supplies and everything to come down. I said, it's not happening. I said, here's the reason I know that you need to do this now is because it's going to take 6 to 8 months to build your house.
Right.
And you got to get in line. These builders, Randy Martin and everybody that's out there, Voyager and all those that are local here, they'll tell you they have 2 years worth of building contracts already in place.
Oh, sure.
And here's the thing you need to know about the new construction side is that as the United States, we're missing 750,000 new homes being built.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
How do you catch up 750? Well, you don't.
Right.
It's just going to be over time. It's going to lag.
Yeah, that housing deficit, was created because of the last bubble bursting,
Right.
and then builders completely stopping, not able to build, being handcuffed, by banks and
Sure.
Or
they lost a bunch of spec homes.
Absolutely. So it was challenging. Everybody stopped building for a while. So it's interesting to note that in Madison, 56% of our homes are older, built prior to 1980.
Oh, wow.
So that means, 1980 doesn't seem that long ago to
No.
me. However, if you think about it,
I was a freshman in college.
Should we do the math? So, what's interesting about that, and I believe the stats for Wisconsin age of housing stock is something like 68% of homes in the state of Wisconsin. Milwaukee's as high as 92%.
Oh, I bet. Oh, sure.
So, we have all of this older, what they would consider older housing stock that needs to be upgraded, replenished, and for many, many years that didn't happen. And
Right.
so we're seeing the crunch of the supply and the demand play out very, very heavily in this market.
Now, with that said, what's going on out there right now, folks, and if you've been trying to buy a house, you understand what I'm about to say is that you put a house on the market and it's gone in a day. Or we have this system down now where we list it on Thursday, open house on Sunday, or even we'll let you come in and see the house till Sunday, open house on Sunday, we review offers on Monday or Tuesday. And so that's something that's happening, and it's changed the way we're doing business a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to buy a house, if you've got a family member trying to buy a house and they've written a ton of offers, you need to stick around because the secret ingredient is coming in this show, and Sheri and I are going to talk about it. But statistic-wise, let's go over this a little bit and tell you what's going on in Sun Prairie right now. In the month of March, 60 homes were listed. That's 11% higher than in 2021. 37 were sold, which is down 17% over same time year to date. Get this though, how pricing is up. The average price is up 14.8% over 2021. And an important percentage for you to hear about, their houses on the market are being sold at 104% of the asking price. Crazy. It's never been that high. And so it's going crazy. It takes 19 days to sell a house right now. And that means the accepted offer to close, our listing to closing. Done. 19 days. Here's what you need to know. If you went on Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, I don't care where it is, and you went to their website, it would show 47 homes actively for sale in Sun Prairie. Let me tell it to you this way. Wrong. There are 12 homes that are listed for sale in Sun Prairie. There are 12 homes available for sale in Sun Prairie. There are 2 condos. One condo is $429,000. It's just overpriced. It really is, based on condition. But what you need to know is there's a real market and there's this fake market that the aggregators, being Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, all that don't have the up-to-date information. And so that's why you need to be working with a realtor to buy a home, and we're going to get to the secret sauce in just a moment. Now, of that 12, you ready? 3 of them are ghost listings. A ghost listing is for new construction that says that coming soon, you could have a house like this. And so now we're down to how many houses? 9. 9 single-family homes in Sun Prairie. Now, Madam Seller, Mr. Seller, if you're out there and you've even thought about this idea, you need to do it. you need to do it. Why am, and here's what Sheri, here's what I hear. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to move. I don't want to move twice. If I could put an extra $50,000 in your pocket, an extra $20,000 in your pocket, would you move?
Yeah,
Twice?
absolutely. That's way more than the cost of a mover and a storage unit.
I actually, and then they say, well, where are we going to go? There's no houses for sale. Where are we going to go? That in itself is a strategy. I have sellers that I have worked with recently that are in apartments.
Yeah. They're
in rental properties. And then the comment will come back, well, I don't want to be in an apartment. It's temporary. Because the insight from these sellers is that I don't care if I have a 12-month lease. If I find a house in 3 months, I'm going to go buy it. Mm-hmm. And why? Because they're cash and they can close in 7 days without any contingencies.
Yeah.
It flip-flops in the way of the negotiations when you have the money and you can close fast.
Right. Absolutely.
You know? And are you seeing this out there too?
Oh my gosh, yes, of course. And you know, one of the things that I think we need to look at is how much this appreciation is just affecting everything. And then not only that, we are looking at, interest rates are rising.
Sure.
So for every, I'm sure you and Laura have had this discussion, for every 1%
right.
interest rate goes up, you lose 10% of your buying power.
Say that again, because I use $10,000, but go ahead. 10% is good though.
10%. So
listen to what she's saying here.
For every 1% your mortgage rate increases, your buying power decreases by 10%.
Correct.
So simply put, when a $350,000 home is being financed at 3.75, as it was, our rates were pretty low for a while, that same property now, that same buyer, I should say, that
right.
qualifies for that.
Sure.
4.75 interest rate. The current rates are hovering right around there, just under 4% or 5%. They lost 10% of their buying power.
Yeah.
So now they're, they've got the double whammy of, okay, now homes are being, it's crazy, they're unaffordable because they're appreciating so quickly and there's such demand that the offer prices are going like, 10% or more over asking in some cases. And yet they've lost 10% of their buying power.
Right.
So
it's a double
we're going to be
whammy.
knocking some people out of the market.
Oh, we are.
For sure. So, when we've looked at year-over-year appreciation and what's projected, Keeping Current Matters, which is a resource that we use as real estate agents, projects that the 2022 appreciation national average is going to be about 6.1%. So, those projections could change. They follow like 7 different housing industry experts
right.
to kind of come up with an average of what they think. Yet some of them are projecting much higher than that. Some of them are projecting a little lower than that. So, we'll see, but there's no indication that this market is slowing down. So we have to be creative
sure.
in how we, help our buyer and seller clients.
So somebody asked me, somebody said, we're talking about the bubble. Everybody wants to know, when's this market going to bust? Or when's it going to change and all that? And I said, it's not for a long time.
Right.
It's going to be a gradual change. And the reason being is interest rates are still low. Even at 5%, they're still low.
Right.
But we have no inventory, and we know that at the lowest point, 5 million people buy homes every single year. Not all in Sun Prairie.
Right.
But it's very consistent in the way of demand. So if demand is stable and you've got no inventory, there you have it. I mean, it's going to drive price up.
Well, and interesting that you brought that up because, a 5 million is like consistently been the average.
Right.
In 2021, it was 6.1 million.
Right,
So,
I know.
I mean, there are buyers out there. So homes are being, believe it or not, inventory is coming on. It's just getting sold faster than we can
sure.
get it on the market. So there are homes out there, and I don't want to discourage people because, if you take a look at the statistics for the last 30 years in real estate appreciation, people are always saying, should I buy now? What about the bubble? I'm overpaying. Well, that's a conversation I think that you need to have with your realtor to decide, how long are you going to be in the home? Does it make sense if, home prices decline or the market slows down? How long do you plan to be in the home? That's one question that you need to think about. But if you look at home ownership, It is the biggest differentiator of wealth in our country, renters versus homeowners.
Exactly.
Homeowners have 40 times the net worth as a renter. The renter's average net worth is $8,000, per year, or I'm sorry, net worth is $8,000, and it's 40 times that for
Right.
a homeowner. So yes, it makes sense to buy a home in any market. It really does. And if you look at appreciation since 1991, the U.S. appreciation has been 258%. So if you bought a house in 1991, it's appreciated. In Wisconsin, it's 248%. So the national average is 258.
Wow.
And like you said, you keep an eye on what's happening in the West Coast, right?
Right.
In California, we've seen those small little 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranches that sold for $250,000. Now they're going for $1.5 million.
Right, exactly.
So I mean, I hope that doesn't happen in Wisconsin, where we have that much of a, but that's all supply and demand.
Sure.
I mean, that there was no bubble there.
No.
It's just supply and demand,
Exactly.
and that's what caused those prices to go up. So that's what we're seeing now.
People are so afraid of 2008, 2009,
Right.
and it's not the same thing. This isn't about bad mortgages. This
Right.
isn't about those if you can breathe, you can have a mortgage. This is supply and demand.
Yeah.
Never did I ever think there'd be 2 condos for sale in Sun Prairie.
Right.
That's just crazy. Talked with Chad Fedler last night, who developed all of Prairie Lakes over there, and he says, well, what do we need in the market? And I said, what we need are condos. He goes, I wouldn't have thought you'd said that. I said,
Yeah.
but I need ranch-style condos
Yeah.
that will accommodate both the millennial and then also my seniors, because seniors want to move to that ranch style. And I
Right.
said, it doesn't need a basement. He goes, you're going to build a place without a basement? Yes. It could be slab. That's how we're going to cut some of the cost out of it.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting conversation. Year to date, our first quarter that we came out, prices up. Sales are down 11.9% for Sun Prairie. Prices up 12.6% over the first 3 months. But also the number of properties listed is up 12%. So why am I telling you this? What does this mean? Well, it's showing you that the growth is still climbing, and the appreciation is still there. People are still buying, and a few more people just listed their houses, and we appreciate that. I want you to know this: go buy a house. It's okay. We can work on it together. First of all, you need to have a good agent that knows to look outside of the box instead of being in the box.
Right.
We're going to show you here in a few minutes, and like I said, the secret sauce is coming, about where the properties are that you can get accepted offers on. And Laura Stanfield and Mary Losted say hello.
Hey, ladies.
Good to see you, ladies. I hope you're having a good time, Laura. So there's just some great stuff that's out there, and we have great opportunities right now. And the statistics show you that everything's pretty stable. Got a list of the 36 solds that occurred in Sun Prairie. It's this one. There you go. And it prints a little low, so I do have to put my glasses on, my old gray eyes. I brought this out because what I noticed was, of the 36 that were sold, 17 had competing offers.
Yeah.
That means 20 didn't.
Well, and the other thing to note, too, that's if they actually entered the data in the MLS the correct way.
Right.
So there's some discussion where
I
not
know.
even all of those
Are accurate.
getting reported
Right.
as having competing offers, even if they do.
But I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But we've got to take what we have in front
Sure,
of us,
right.
because even like neighborhoods and stuff, people don't put that in.
Right.
Here's what I want you to know. In Sun Prairie, we had a property in March sell at $84,000 over the asking price. Asking price was $498. It sold for $582. 14% over the asking price. Now, that was over on Essex Drive, 1810 Essex Drive. Sheri, here's what bothers me about this, and people have heard me say this before. This over asking,
Yes.
it's frustrating me, and I hate that word, frustrating. It's
Yeah.
challenging me because I think the agent didn't price it correctly.
Sometimes that's the case.
You know what I mean? And because if they had priced it correctly, how much higher could it have gone?
Well, and to be fair, I think a lot of realtors are chasing up the market. You
Right.
know, the prices are appreciating. We go back and look at sold
Right.
sold comparables,
Right.
using lingo here, sold comps, sold comparables, to look at, you know, what happened in the market. Yet that doesn't tell us exactly where the market is going.
Mhm.
So a lot of times, you know, agents are pricing homes based on historical market that happened 6 to 12 months ago.
Right.
And then if you're not factoring in what's going on today, then you are underpricing a property.
But you know what? When you and I worked together, when you were the big boss and you were guiding the young real estate agent that I was at that time, you told me something. You taught me something. You said, don't forget about the actives.
Right.
Because you said the actives are your competition.
Yes.
And back then, it was a buyer's market, and we're trying to price homes as tight as we could to
Right.
get the market value on it. And you said, don't forget the actives. It's in my brain.
Well,
It's engraved on my headboard in
absolutely,
my
because that's
bed.
your current competition. And the interesting thing is, I told you before the radio started, I did 87
Yeah.
CMAs yesterday.
Check
with,
this out,
with one
folks.
of my team members.
You want to hear what a leader does and somebody that knows the market and knows how to go get it? Check this out. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, that's okay, because I'm jumping ahead a little bit because we're going to talk
Yeah.
about this strategy. However, we're looking for off-market properties, so we want homeowners to know what kind of equity they potentially have in their current home, and see if that, you know, potentially entices them to consider, you know, selling. So we did 87 comparative market analysis yesterday on different properties we're looking for buyers. And the interesting thing about that process is, you know, usually we're looking for a minimum of 5 similar actively on the market properties, 5 that have sold, and 5 like pending or expired, you know, just so we have more data to go from. We had a very, very difficult time finding active comparables. Everything's under contract or
Sure.
sold. There's so little
Right.
in the market. So
Right.
it's important to pay attention to, yet it's hard to pay attention to that if there's nothing to
Sure.
to look at. So yeah, so we're kind of chasing the market up still at this point.
Yeah.
And
But tell them how long it takes to do a CMA.
well, okay, normally
Did you hear
I
that?
haven't. Yeah, normally it can take a while. The thing is, like, you know, we targeted specific neighborhoods, specific type of properties. So we were able to find, you know, similar properties and say, okay, all these properties are roughly worth this range. So we were able to simplify the process a little bit and just, you know, to get it out there, to get things done more quickly. And so yeah, we were working on being able to get them done very, very quickly yesterday after we got our system in place. So.
And folks, I want to tell you this. If all you want to know is how much equity you have in your house, call me. I'll take care of this. I will walk you through. There's no obligation, but it's going to show you what you can achieve. And I would challenge you, if it's not me, if you're working with another agent, or you want to work with another agent, check me out anyway. Let's compare and let's see. You hear my stats all the time. You know I am on top of it. I probably know this better than anybody in this town, or in the listening area, as I
Yeah.
say. And I do that on purpose, because that way I better serve my clients,
Right.
buyer or seller. And I have it broken down by neighborhood
Yeah, absolutely.
and pink houses. I don't know about pink houses, but so let me give you an idea on another property. I highlighted 2 of them on here because the increase is interesting on this. The house at 716 Davis. Now this house listed at $250,000. It sold for $310, 19% over the asking price. That's an older home.
Yeah.
That's an older home, built in 1959.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know how many offers have been written on that property too.
Right.
So when you have that huge of a gap, there were probably, you know, multiple offers, you know,
Yeah.
probably more than 10 offers on that property. So
And the 10 offers, I'm still, man, I still struggle with the 10 offers because laying 10 offers out in front of somebody and explaining the pluses and minuses of each one, and then these two are identical, and then this one's, okay, this is close to this one over here. Okay, this is VA, this is FHA.
We've all had to become experts in spreadsheets.
Oh my gosh, I know.
For sure.
It's just, it's uncomfortable for sellers. And I think that's why when we get to our strategy part, why sellers like I've just recently had do what they did.
Yeah.
The mystery's still coming.
All right.
Did you? Did you like that?
Yes.
But just know that not every property has is going above asking, especially when you get into 4, 5. 100,000. They actually sold below asking. Fair Pheasant Way, Stonehaven over in my area, and Patriot Way, that's a new construction, but it actually sold for less. Which that kind of concerns me in itself because normally they sell at the market value.
Right.
That's your building cost.
Yeah, they don't negotiate typically.
But there are a bunch of them that have had, they just, it was the asking price and done. Bam, there you have it. Yeah, 5 of the houses that were sold were new construction, by the way, and so we're getting there on new construction, but not yet. But so let's talk about the seller side for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to go over and we're going to give them the secret sauce.
Sure.
Even though the market is hot as hell, and as soon as you put it on the market, it sells. What you have to do is you have to still prepare the home. If it looks ugly, you're going to get an ugly price.
Right.
If it looks gorgeous, you're going to get a gorgeous price.
Absolutely.
And it starts from the moment you walk in. So none of these these are things that we've done all our career in helping you prepare the home, stage the home, telling you things that need to be done. None of that's changed. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I want you to know that it's even more important today to get the maximum dollar that you want.
Without a doubt. I think, will any home sell in this market?
Yes.
Yes. Just because of the demand. And yet, the thing to remember is that if you work to prepare your property and get it ready to be sold and everything looks great, and your realtor is using professional photography, because your first showing is online. And so one of my pet peeves is seeing this, iPhone photography out there that just isn't showcasing the house in a very, very
favorable.
Professional or favorable light. Right, exactly. So one of the things that I think you have to consider is, those things still matter. Like, I would, tell the sellers it's a good time to get a pre-home inspection. A lot of people are writing offers without an inspection contingency, yet they're going to feel much more comfortable to offer you a higher price if you've already had the home pre-inspected. They know what they're dealing with. Otherwise, there's a certain element of risk, and they're not sure. So they're going to base their offer price according to the risk that they feel like they're taking. So I think that's a great strategy for sellers.
I think so too.
A pre-home inspection and declutter, do the staging, do the painting, clean the carpets, get a professional deep clean done. The better that house looks, the more competition you're going to have, the more offers you're going to get, and probably the higher over the asking price you're going to get.
Stretch the carpeting.
Yeah.
It does. It costs maybe $200 to stretch your carpeting. I mean, it makes it look brand new, and it doesn't take much effort. You're getting ready to leave. You're going to sell this house. You're going to be out of there. Pack it up and get out.
Right.
Get ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
I do love the staging. I have a client right now that he put in about $5,000 into his house before we listed it, and we got max dollars out of it. I mean, we hit the number that we wanted. And at the very end, we had the exact offer he wanted, and he says, well, maybe I can get an extra $5 out of him. I'm like, no, take this one and be happy with it. Yeah. But it worked out really well. But I think we got that number because of the work he did. He painted. He cleaned the carpeting. He actually replaced carpeting in 2 of the rooms. Well, he didn't have to do that,
Yeah.
but and it's not as costly as you think.
Right, absolutely.
But you got to put makeup on a pig once in a while.
I had a similar situation. I had a home for sale in Midvale Heights, and the seller went into assisted living, and the daughter lived out of state. So I was helping her get that home prepped, and one of the neighbors, offered to buy it, which was a fair price for the
Right.
home in the condition that it was. It hadn't been updated since it was built in the 50s. There were a lot of issues with the home, and so we did that same thing. We basically completely got rid of everything in the home.
Uh-huh.
We painted, we freshened up the exterior, did some landscaping work, and staged the home. So we invested about $5,000 into getting that home ready for the market, which, by the way, the neighbor was going to buy for $250,000, and we sold it for $310,000. So that investment and that extra effort can make a humongous difference in
Absolutely.
what people are able to get for their homes.
Absolutely. Hey, we've got about 15 minutes left, so let's get to the secret sauce.
Sure.
So here's
The
what.
fun part.
Here's if you don't know me by now, you know I'm an outside of the box kind of guy. I look at angles. I look at things. It's strategy. How do you get on the other side of the wall? Some people say you go over, some say you go under, some say you go around. I would prefer just to blow the mother up, and then it's out of the way. But that's the kind of thinking you have to have when you're trying. If my buyer wants a house, it's my job to help direct them in the way of crafting an offer that's going to get it accepted. And so I'll tell you right now, I know of offers that I've written that I was not the highest offer, and we got it. And it was just because of some of the wording that we put in there to get it done. We're going to talk to you about listings that are not on the multiple listing service. Sheri has already touched on that, how she's reaching out to people to talk to them, to show them their equity, and they might just raise their hand in the next week, month, 2 months, and say, we talked about this, I'd like to sell my house. And I guarantee you that Sheri or one of our EXP folks has a buyer that's going to want to buy that house before it hits the market. That's one aspect of it. Searching off-market listings that have sold maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, going back that far to see who would want to buy it. And we have the programs to pull the numbers, the telephone numbers for most of them, and that's how we're searching. That's how I'm spending my day anymore. Then we have another thing, and she's smiling already. On the multiple listings service, we have what we call delayed listings, and it's the property that's getting ready to come onto the market, and we're maybe doing photo shoots, we're maybe doing staging, things might be ready, or some agents may be using it as a strategy to create the feeding frenzy. And I like these properties, and I watch them. And you're about to hear one of my secrets of how I work with my buyers to get accepted offers. And so, yes, you can take it to your agent if you're working with one and say, why didn't you tell me about this? Or you can call me, and I'll help you on this. They're called delayed listings. What that means is you cannot see them on the multiple listing service. You can't see them on Zillow. You can't see them on Realtor.com. You can't see them on Redfin. You can't see them on the bathroom wall. They're just not there. They're invisible right now. But not to real estate agents.
Correct.
They're sitting there on the market.
Right.
And they're beautiful. They're golden nuggets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, why are they golden nuggets? I'll let you have the punchline.
Well, because as you noted, the consumers can't find this information. So only real estate agents, realtors who are members of the MLS, the Multiple Listing Service, can actually go in and look at these delayed listings. So that gives people the opportunity, if they're looking in a specific place for clients, I have notifications set up. So I know when a delayed listing is coming up, and typically those are going to say, no showings until, a week from Sunday, and,
right.
All of this kind of stuff. Yet, there is a way to actually write an offer on a house like that's in delayed status. So I'll let you share that.
And a listing agent cannot market the property.
Correct.
It just
They
cannot
can't
be.
let anyone in.
They-
If it's in
nope.
delayed status, nobody's available to get into
Yeah,
that
you
property.
cannot see the
Not even
house.
the listing agent
Right,
is
so-
allowed to show that property.
So a little tool that I use, and I recently, on a listing we just sold, I taught 2 agents this, and I kept shaking my head. I kept going, I'm giving away the secret recipe on this. But here's what you can do. If you're buying a house and you're frustrated because you keep getting turned down, or if you got kids, I know a couple right now, they keep getting turned down, this is what you do. You write a sight unseen offer. Now you're first going to go, oh my God, I'm not going to buy a house that I haven't seen. That's not the case. You're about to see it, but you have to write the language this way. It's sight unseen. The contingency is visual approval within 24 to 48 hours. But you
Of
want
having an accepted offer.
upon accepted offer.
Mhm.
So you want that 24 hours. You want to get in there quick. And so then what happens is they accept your offer, so the numbers are out. There's no competition. They don't see any other offers that are there. And you're going to go in, and now if you like it, you go, okay, I'm good. Let's move to closing. And if not, you can just walk away from it. All that happened was the agent wrote the offer. That's it. Had an offer. I had a property up in Fall River, and it was good. We weren't going to be live until April 30th. April 30th. Well, it's already closed.
Wow.
And
that saved your seller a bunch of hassle too. So
Exactly.
they're probably really happy
exactly.
about that.
So we had 2 of them that were sight unseen, but of those 2. What happened was the agents called me, do we really have to wait till the 30th? They're trying to sneak in, and all this. And I said, yeah, you do. I said, but there are other options that you can do. And one of them said, well, I don't understand. I said, you could write a sight unseen. She goes, but they want to see the house before they buy it. And I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to say, go to your broker, but I didn't. I said, you write a sight unseen, visual inspection, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. Give us your highest and best because you may be the only one that gets to see it. Bam.
Right.
Bam.
And if the sellers have an offer that they're happy with, that's great.
Yeah. And why do they want to do that?
Just convenience factor.
Yeah.
Less showings, less trouble having people going through the house, less staging, professional photos, all of that fun stuff that we talked about to
Right.
get them the best price.
Right.
That stuff, is
Right.
not easy to
No.
accomplish. It's not fun. It's not easy.
No.
Most sellers find it stressful. Yet at the same time, there's a matter of convenience versus getting the highest price. So,
Sure.
if they're all about the convenience, then they're happy with that offer. Then great, everybody's happy. You can move on.
So part of this is that you also have to tell your seller to tell everybody your house is for sale. Your seller can actually hand out information about it being for sale. I can't, as the agent, have any of my logos or anything on there promoting that house. But the seller can. They can go on Facebook and go, my house is for sale, my house is for sale, woo, woo. And that starts this little thing going on. And it's pretty sweet, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was going somewhere and I forgot where I was going, but that's okay. I'll come back to it and say it's coming. Here it
Yeah,
comes.
so the delayed offers, I think, are just a really great place to find those
Right.
properties that people don't know are coming to the market yet. So
Right.
it gives us an opportunity to scope it out, see if it's going to be a fit for somebody, and so that's really a great place to look
Right.
for, one way to look for, properties that haven't quite hit the market yet, but are definitely going to go for sale.
So check this out, folks. How many houses did I tell you were active, really active? What's true out there in Facebook world and our MLS and everything? I said 9, right?
Yep.
Guess what? There are 11 properties in delayed status in Sun Prairie, ranging from 239,000 all the way up to 563.
Pretty exciting.
And you just think about that for a minute. Why would a seller want to do this? Let me give you an example. Let me tell you exactly the story. Woodstock property that will be closing this week, actually, that I had listed. We had 14 showings scheduled the first day. 14 times 3 people is 42 people walking through your house.
Right.
You don't have to have that anymore. You're done. And so, and we had it set up where on this situation, where went active on Thursday, showing started, and we would open house on Sunday, review on Monday, right? Well, he got his offer real fast, and he says, if I get this now, I can cancel everything else, right? I said, yep, you can. I said, well, we're set to go. Because in the wording, because the seller always has the right to do what they want.
Right, absolutely.
They can change their mind anytime they want.
Yes.
Well, they can say, I want this offer. I
Right.
want this offer.
And that's it.
I'm going to take this offer right here and I'm done.
Yes.
And they do.
Yes.
They do more often than you realize. And so keep that in mind. Don't let your agent hold the offer until Monday. If you see it on Thursday or Friday, get the offer in. Come strong on Friday. Give it your
Absolutely.
best, and you may win that offer.
Well, exactly. Don't wait, because like you said, you might miss out if the seller decides to take another offer and they didn't even know you were planning to write an offer. So you don't want to wait. And the second part about that too is if you are if you're competing against other offers and you find out they're accepting offers on Monday, you can counter your own offer.
Sure.
You can bump that up
Absolutely.
if you want to. You don't have to wait for them to send you a counter offer. If you're worried about the competition and you want to increase your purchase price, just go ahead and submit a counter offer prior to the deadline of offers being reviewed.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about being too soon, too early.
Sure.
I think you have to worry more about being too late.
Yeah, I agree. Here's something else that I suggest to folks, and I can do that. I mean, I'm not violating anything. Is that I can tell you about these delayed listings. I can give you their addresses. I'm allowed to do that as a buyer's agent. If you stop by and knock on the door and visit, that's okay. I can't do that. But you, as a buyer, can. Then if you want that house bad enough, you can do it. And we did that on Kohler. And they went over there, and Adam knocked on the door, found out it was vacant. Then everything just started, and we went sight unseen, and bam, accepted offer.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. But it's being I want to say aggressive, but assertive.
Yes.
At the same time. So yeah, it's you have options out there. So what I've demonstrated, I'm hoping, and Sheri's demonstrated, is you have two agents that are experienced. They look outside of the box. One is going to find the sellers who's doing CMAs to show them how much money they can put in their pocket, and then the other one is showing you how to buy a house and get away from that competitiveness, possibly.
Yes.
And isn't that who you want to work with?
Without a doubt. I mean, there are a lot of, like you said, there are a lot of agents out there that are maybe a little bit newer in the business, or just don't write as many offers.
Sure.
A lot of agents that are in the business
Right.
do it part-time. It's not their full, source of income or their full career and profession like it is for us. So sometimes they're not up to date on what's going on with the market or how to best write an offer to be successful for their clients. So I think definitely working with someone who's full-time in real estate, it's their primary career, their only career, because who has time for another career if you're in real estate?
Radio.
If you're doing it successfully. So I think those are all important things to consider when you're choosing your agent.
Yeah, I agree. It's for me, it's still a fun market. I love the stats. I go down those rabbit holes all the time. Look up and it's midnight, just by playing with numbers and stuff. But to me, that's the advantage. This is what agents don't know. They don't know there's 11 delayed listings and to go write that offer for their client.
Right.
Because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 homes under $350,000 that you may get the asking price for. Now that agent may say, well, you should hold off.
Right.
But fairly, they should be saying you could end it now, no stress, and get it over with, or you could wait and we might get. You have to judge. You have to gauge that, and your agent's going to help you do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
eliminating the competition before it begins is just brilliant, though. So any way that you can creatively do that, like looking at the delayed listings or, you know, proactively going out to look for people who may want to sell their property who aren't on the market yet. Those are just a couple of ways to do it, and it's the way to do it.
Sheri White, you are amazing.
You are too, Bill. Thanks for having me on today. It was such a pleasure and honor to be here with you.
Man, you're the teacher. You're the mentor. I'm like, I had to be on my A game today, you know?
Yeah, right.
I was just going to limp through if you weren't able to come, but really appreciate you doing this and taking the time. Will you come back?
Absolutely.
All right.
Anytime.
Awesome. Love that. Sun Prairie, I hope we've given you some information to think about today. It is a great time to buy a house. It's a great time to sell a house. You need the expert in your corner to get that done, and I'd love to do that for you. Ask the right questions. Ask your buyer agents the questions that you've heard here today. Ask them about delayed listings and see if that's going to work for you. And do this. Catch me Monday morning on Good Morning Sun Prairie. Rob Callwalder will be with me with Pro Health Chiropractic. Going to talk about a way of doing chiropractic and natural medicine that's going to blow your mind. Think you're going to love it. So till then, thanks Sun Prairie, and we'll catch you on Monday. Thanks, Sheri.
Thanks, Bill.
2, please. Merci beaucoup. Nice job.
Thank you.
Educational as always.
Was it like the delayed listing thing?
Do you listen to these shows all the time?
Oh yeah.
So
You have to make sure we're behaving in here?
I'll listen to shows, but you know it's kind of on and off because you know
You're still trying to work.
at times I'm editing some audio, so I have to have my headphones in order to hear whatnot. But
He's in charge of this radio studio and what I say.
so
Gotcha.
I have been
I don't want
caught.
to get in trouble, so I
Right.
have to
So Colin
keep
will.
people honest.
Good luck keeping Bill Baker in line.
Right?
Well, she had to keep me in line.
I've had that job before.
You know
I know
how
it's
it
a
is.
challenge. Just kidding, Bill.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, anybody good pushes the envelope.
That's true.
That's where the success happens.
You're
you know?
outside the box. Like I say.
Hey, so what Colin's going to do is later today he'll send me a link to the show.
Oh, cool.
And so then I'm going to forward it to you, and then you can use it as you like, as long as you give me credit. You're welcome to edit it, use parts of it, but just give me credit for the show.
For sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
I'll have Mr. Kurt whip up a little video for us.
Oh, we got to take a picture. We need to do that more often.
Yeah.
You got to remind me, because usually we're flying out of here. Do you have time for lunch?
Yeah, I was just going to go to Target after this, so.
To have lunch?
Or not Target, Costco. No, I have a grocery list. One of my grandbabies turns a year on actually Friday, but it's party Saturday, so I have to go get some stuff for the party.
Okay.
But I do have time for lunch.
Awesome.
You could lunch at Costco.
Yeah, right. We could get the hot
$1.50, get that
dogs.
hot dog.
I like those.
Beverage
I've never
deal.
had those, and I heard they're pretty good.
It's not something you want to have in your diet often,
Right.
but the occasional hot dog, I mean, you can't beat that deal.
And
Yeah, I had
Facebook.